Alrighty, welcome back everybody to our latest live stream. We do have some breaking information currently ongoing. We do have tornado warnings actually ongoing in Colorado associated with an outflow driven area of storms, but this is again the threat that we were looking at today. We currently have some pretty strong rotation back up here, just back off to the north of our initial tornado warning. There is a brand new one currently in effect for this area of rotation that is currently south of Highway 50 and west of Highway 287. It is southwest of Lamar, Colorado. Again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. If you're included in either of these tornado warnings, the main area of rotation, as I mentioned before, is currently just off to the west of Highway 385. It is kind of drifting off to the north as of right now. Let's take a look at the live radar. This storm is currently not just producing a potential tornado, it is also producing baseball-sized hail. Yes, we're talking very large hailstones currently embedded with this supercell. And that's really where those black areas are there. That's going to be representing your largest hailstorm, largest hailstones as that kind of drifts off to the north and east. And again, this is an outflow driven to storms. You can see the outflow boundary back down here to the south. Again, we do have some rotation though embedded with this ongoing cell. Not just that, again, that baseball sized hail threat. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning back just off to the northwest of that is just producing $half sized hail and 60-mile-per-hour damaging winds. But again, we do have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings and 2 tornado warnings, which the majority of those again right now currently in Colorado. So again, seek shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible if you're included in this warning. Again, it is currently just down to the southwest of Lamar, and the tornado warning has just been updated, so it has been condensed. It is slightly higher off to the north, and along with that, again, it has been updated to baseball-sized hail, and that's really what we're looking at in this hail core as of right now. Some extreme hail currently falling west of Highway 385. We're going to take a look and see if we have any media or any photos, videos, anything like that coming in on this, but again, large hailstorm right now ongoing in Colorado. We'll take a look if we have any hail photos though coming in. Again, might be some chasers out there, but baseball sized hail, that is again no joke at all. We do have a report, by the way, of a funnel cloud at 5:20 about 17 minutes ago. Weather spotter reported visually seeing a funnel cloud appear and dissipate. That was with a wall cloud, and it was still visible at the time of the report. That was again along Highway 50, so it was probably looking down to the south is my guess with this ongoing tornado warning. So that's most likely what we were looking at in terms of this ongoing tornado warning. Again, make sure you're seeking shelter immediately away from windows and lowest floor possible. Alrighty. Welcome back, everybody. I can't talk again. I just ate. We're currently in Colorado. No problem, Speller. I appreciate you stopping by and tuning in. I'm doing good, Arts. How about you? I was like halfway through my dinner and I saw these tornado warnings. I'm like, I gotta go live. All right, there's somebody actually chasing the storm right now. I'll go and take a look at what he's doing, but I'm not going to be able to show it, obviously, for many reasons. But there is somebody currently chasing the Colorado storms, but not anywhere near, it looks like, the ongoing cell at this given time. But we'll be watching this pretty closely. If we have any sort of tornado touchdowns, anything like that, it does seem like the rotation right now is kind of embedded in the rain. It's probably gonna be pretty difficult to see. You can see there is a lot of hail though ongoing with this. I mean, we're definitely talking minimum tennis ball sized hail, if not maybe even a little bit larger than that. It might be as high as baseball sized hail currently. It seems like the storm may be weakening a little bit. We'll watch it closely. Again, the outflow boundary should be able to weaken the storm a little bit as that moves down to the south. Obviously, these storms are drifting a bit more to the north, so that should help to maybe weaken it a little bit. But overall, I do think it's going to be probably a pretty low threat of this producing a tornado. But we'll take a look at it. Again, rotation currently is centered back embedded in this storm. It is currently, again, west of Highway 385. It is briefly moving off to the north, not very quickly, but it is moving very slowly right now off to the north and northwest. So we'll have to watch the storm again very closely. Let's go over to the hail radar, and let's take a look at how much the hail is being estimated at. And man, wow, look at this. This is being estimated at over 3 inches of hailstone diameter, which obviously that is right there in between grapefruit and baseball size. We're definitely looking at some pretty large hail here. Obviously, it is an estimate, but we can definitely estimate that we're definitely looking at somewhere around baseball size. That's definitely a safe guess, but we very well could be looking at maybe something a little bit higher than that. 3.3 inches in diameter is extremely large in terms of hail with this cell, so definitely be something to watch very closely. There's a storm back out to the west of this that is also producing some hail. That is currently warned, and And beyond that, those storms should be moving a bit more. Again, they're moving off to the north. The one cell that had hail is now going down this direction. That's where it's at. But again, outflow boundary currently is moving down to the south. Storm motion for the most part is north and northwest. So that's what we got going as of right now. But we might get a new warning on those storms down to the south here pretty shortly. But obviously the biggest concern as of right now is this ongoing tornado warning, which seems like the rotation is starting to broaden out a little bit, but we'll watch it closely and see what happens over the next several minutes. Again, that potential for a few landspouts does exist today across these areas. We may see more after this as well. Very well sporadic storms may be able to produce that tornado threat beyond just this cell, and we'll watch that threat pretty closely over the next couple of hours. But obviously no severe thunderstorm watch, no tornado watch, nothing like that, mainly because it's going to be a pretty isolated threat. But that threat does go through western and northern Kansas, areas like Colby, just back out to the east and south of there. That is included in those threats as well today, a marginal threat overall. But a low-end tornado threat will exist in western Kansas and central eastern portions of Colorado. There is also a marginal threat back up in Iowa, which also includes a low-end chance for a tornado, but I don't think that threat will be that high today. I think it's going to be a very low-end threat up that direction in those locations. As of right now, again, there's two tornado warnings, as well as 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. We also have 13 flash flood warnings, so that's what we again have ongoing as of right now. Hey D, how you doing? Welcome back. I have a bacon, cheese, and egg quesadilla, which I still have not finished. Yeah, both tornado warnings are for the same exact system. The rotation is kind of the same area here. It's, again, west of Highway 385. This is where that rotation is as of right now. But again, it's not overly impressive from the latest scan. Let's go back a few scans. I'll kind of show you what it was before. It was a bit more impressive earlier. You can actually see it here. There may have been a tornado on the ground here briefly. Let's see if I can get the perfect image on this, going a little bit faster. And right here, there may have been a tornado on the ground here. Again, that's west of Highway 385. It's kind of hard to pinpoint a location here. It is a pretty rural area there. But obviously, rotation moved off to the north. That is when the tornado warning got issued. It was like just basically after that rotation really tightened. Then moved off to the north. Not nearly as impressive in the latest scans. But we'll watch it pretty closely as this still continues to move off to the northwest. Again, we may see more from where this came from, embedded with areas along this outflow boundary. Again, there's areas back out here to the west that also have that potential. And obviously, the ongoing storms here also could be not just packing a bunch of hail, but also maybe a potential for something a bit more beyond that. Possibly even a little bit of flash flooding. We'll have to watch that pretty closely as well. Looks like the rotation was starting to strengthen a little bit more on that latest scan. So we'll watch it again very closely for you. We have had one report of a funnel cloud, so had that so far. Let me take a look if we have any other photos coming in here on Twitter or anything like that. Again, so we do have a funnel cloud that was spotted with this storm south of Lamar, moving to the north. Just for reference, the funnel cloud is likely going to be embedded somewhere in here. That's kind of my guess at this point. But we did, again, that was the latest report as of about 5 minutes ago. That funnel cloud, I believe, was reported, when we had it reported was about 7 or 8 minutes ago. So, at least what we're at as of right now. Again, this supercell is currently in Bent and Prowers County, Colorado is where we're at as of right now. Again, baseball-sized hail is definitely the biggest component with the storm as of right now in Colorado. Take a look if we still have anything on here. This tornado warning, by the way, down here to the south, just for reference, only includes 12 people. This one. I'm not sure about this one. I'm trying to figure that out. Trying to figure out the population on this other warning, but the other one includes 18. So we're currently covering 30 people in Colorado. Obviously, it is still a dangerous situation. Regardless, we very well could see a tornado, and obviously, it would be pretty cool to see if we have any sort of photos or videos of that coming over the next few minutes. Obviously, it is in a very rural area, so we probably would get a good view on it if we did have any sort of those reports coming in. Hopefully, though, it does not damage crops or anything like that if there were to be a tornado. But as of right now, let me go back over to the velocities. And you can kind of see the rotation seems to be down this way. Let's go over to a little bit higher up. See if there's any other areas. And yeah, that seems to be the main area right now, currently down a bit more to the south end of the storm, but we very well may have a little bit of rotation there. We'll have to wait and see. Again, the radar site is currently coming from off to the northwest, so that's going to kind of give us a little bit of a hinder because of the hail that we have ongoing as well. That could maybe give a little bit of like kind of congestion. I call it congestion. I don't know why, but I do. In terms of kind of seeing what is embedded currently in that rotation. So that's what we're looking at as of right now. Rex, I think everybody remembers Jaws. As of what we now know, there's not been any confirmation of a tornado, but there has been confirmation of a funnel cloud very recently, again, on this storm just south of Lamar. That's the latest report that we have on this cell. We have not had any new reports since, though. Well, again, we may have something still ongoing here in terms of funnel cloud. I'm trying to get more information, but as of right now, I'm not getting any. New record, by the way, was set in Sioux Falls, South Dakota of a 24-hour precipitation with about 5.67 inches of rain in 24 hours back up in Sioux Falls. The last time, the previous record was 5.07 inches of rain back in 2018. As the latest on that. As a new report back up there in Iowa. All right, let me take a look at how many warnings we currently have. We do have 3 severe thunderstorm warnings still ongoing. We have a brand new one somewhere. Again, I'm going to primarily be focusing on the tornado warnings. Again, baseball-sized hail, and as well as the potential for a tornado does exist with this cell. If we do not get a new tornado warning, I would expect a pretty significant hail warning on this one, in terms of at least potentially being golf ball size, if not greater. We'll go back over to the hail radar here in a second. A couple of warnings currently back over in Alabama. That's where we have 2. And back over, let me take a look where the other one is. So again, for reference, 2 tornado warnings in Colorado, 1 in Massachusetts actually, and 2 in Alabama. Those are our 3 warnings, or 5 warnings as of right now. In terms of warnings, severe thunderstorm warnings, and as well as tornado warnings. We have like 13 or 14 flash flood warnings. So a lot of stuff ongoing as of right now. I said a hail warning. I just meant by hail, like hail being the primary focus on a severe thunderstorm warning. So no, there's no such thing though as a hail warning. They just call it a severe thunderstorm warning. But I would, again, the main focus on this storm probably will be hail beyond now, but we'll have to wait and see. Again, the velocities as of right now still have a little bit of rotation down there on the south end. A lot of wind, by the way, very strong downburst winds. The brighter greens representing the highest wind speeds embedded in this storm just off to the west, as I mentioned before, of Highway 385. But again, we'll have this potential threat over the next few hours. It's not going to just be now. We've already had a tornado warning earlier today, but anywhere along the south flow boundary, especially in this area, I'll kind of try to outline it here, but anywhere in this area especially is going to have that best chance over the next couple of hours, because again, we have a little bit more shear here. We very well could see a couple of land spouts, maybe a tornado. As we already said, I don't know if we've had a confirmation of a tornado yet today, but we've had a couple of funnel cloud reports. And again, this cell specifically has already had a funnel cloud reported on it. Hail warning, yeah. Again, hail warning is not a thing. Where was the tornado warning earlier? It was also Colorado. I'm not entirely sure the exact location, but I think it was a pretty rural area. But it was a few hours ago, from what I know. I don't know the exact location though. By the way, we do have, again, 2 tornado warnings, 3 severe thunderstorm warnings, 2 special marine warnings, and 12 flash flood warnings. So that's just for reference in terms of how many flash flood warnings we have more than anything. Live on a marginal day. I go live all the time. But I mean, honestly, on a marginal day like this, when we have a hailstorm like this large in terms of baseball-sized hail, I was originally not going to go live today, but until I saw this storm, I mean, I was going to go live. I mean, there's no doubt with something like this, this can be, again, very destructive. Luckily, it's not in a huge populated area, but it obviously will be something to really monitor over the next few hours. We do have also some storms back down here to the south of 350. South of La Junta, I can't remember the pronunciation anymore, but down south of there, we have a couple of storms down here. Those may end up getting warned at some point pretty soon, but we'll watch those 2 closely. La Junta was the area that got pounded with storms yesterday, which we were live for. So Colorado has had a pretty significant last couple of days with these warnings. And here's a look at the rotation as of right now. Let's take a look at the warning details, and nothing's updated at this point. Still baseball-sized hail. And it is still warned for, again, a potential tornado. Here's a look at the latest hail radar, by the way, and it is still estimating at least 10 egg size in the latest scans as it kind of drifts off a little bit to the north and west, but obviously very significant hail. It was actually estimating, as I mentioned before near the beginning, around 3.5 inches in diameter. So it is extremely large hail that we're looking at with this cell as it moves off to the north and west. Take a look at this one, by the way. And yeah, this tornado warning is still ongoing. And again, a report of a funnel cloud is why these warnings have been issued. Not just that, obviously we have hail, and not just but beyond that, we obviously have rotation on the radar. So that's, again, why the warning has been issued at this point. I don't know if we have any images of the funnel cloud, but that's what we have as of right now. I'll take a look at Iowa real quick too, by the way. Iowa does have a chance for a little bit of severe weather, but possibility for an isolated tornado is not out of the question. We do have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning actually up in Iowa. And let's take a look at the warning details. And 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail. That is west of Des Moines. That is moving off to the east. There is a little bit of rotation there, but beyond that, we'll have to watch that. Again, any surface-based storms back up in Iowa today could very well produce a isolated tornado, so we'll have to watch that as well pretty closely. Stay safe, Furzer. Stay safe. Any storm chasers out? I only know of one, and I don't think he's that close to the storm, so I'm still trying to get some updates on this, though. As of right now, again, population of literally 30 is included in both of these warnings. But obviously, it is pretty close to more populated areas near Lamar, and these areas obviously have already seen storms today, and they're going to probably see more over the next few hours. But a very significant threat. If this gets anywhere close to areas like Highway 287 or 385, I mean, we're talking potential damage to vehicles that travel these roads, which are obviously people that travel these roads. It's really the bigger impact at this point in terms of at least the hail. The tornado threat still is kind of in the rural areas as of right now, along with the hail threat. And look at the radar, actually. It's starting to show a bit more rotation again here. Back out again west of Highway 385. So there's a little bit of rotation still ongoing with this. We'll have to watch it pretty closely. Again, as this moves off to the north and kind of off to the northwest. Again, it's moving off to the north and northwest, mainly due to the fact we do have an outflow boundary, kind of developing more storms back down this direction, currently down to the south. So that's kind of what we got going as of right now. We do have a brand new severe thunderstorm warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds and as well as quarter-sized hail. Does include Lamar, Wiley, Granda, as well as Hartman, and a few of the reservoirs. So again, that is also with a tornado possible label. Obviously, there's going to be a possibility for a landspout or two throughout the next 2 hours. So I'll have to watch that again very closely. But as of right now, tornado warning specifically is not moving towards Lamar, but we may see new development up that direction. So that's what's going to have to really be monitored up that way, is any development that starts to kind of, make its way up that way. Hey, Jay, how you doing? Welcome back. As well as Nevin, how you doing? Hey, no problem, Julie. Appreciate you stopping by and tuning in. All right, let me go over to the velocities again. And again, the rotation that we actually have a couple areas. Let me go into, well, we only really have one. There's like this one small area again down here. It's been pretty broad for a while. There's like a small little area there that may have a little bit of rotation there, which would make a little bit more sense. That's more in the inflow that we kind of have. It's a very weak inflow, but there's a little bit of an inflow there going into the cell, again, south of Wiley and Lamar. Again, 5:20, about half an hour ago now, over in Benton County, Colorado, we did have a weather spotter that did visually report a funnel cloud that appeared and dissipated, but obviously there was still a wall cloud ongoing, so that's why the warning again was issued. But as of right now, again, tornado warnings are ongoing for another, at least, I believe, another 7 minutes or another almost 20 minutes. Let's hop real quick back up into Iowa. This is a storm that has a little bit of rotation, so we're going to watch this one closely as well. Quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour winds north of Elkhorn. We'll watch this one closely. Here's a look at the velocities as of right now, and there is definitely some rotation here, so we'll have to watch this one closely as well. Take a look at the correlation coefficient as well real quick. I'm pretty sure it's not a tornado, but there is a little bit of rotation there. Yeah, nothing on the ground, but we'll have to watch that one closely as well. Again, there is a couple areas to watch today. Again, up in Iowa, and as well as back down into portions of Colorado. And southeast, Colorado is really the main area at this point for the next couple of hours. Back over to the tornado warning. Again, baseball-sized hail is still a potential, but I do think that hail threat has gone down from the initial part of the storm. Let me take a look at the warning details. If there's anything updated. Nope, still baseball-sized hail, but I would expect the hailstone size is a little bit lower now. At least golf ball-sized hail or less is probably where it's at. It seems like the storm is weakening a little bit. Let's look at the velocities again. And actually, that tornado warning just got canceled back down to the southeast. Obviously, that area was no longer in the warning, but we still have this one ongoing tornado warning, which we'll see if it gets canceled or not. There was still a little bit of rotation there, but we will be watching it very closely. Let me go back over to the warning count. We currently have 5 severe thunderstorm warnings and 1 tornado warning. So this was a potential funnel cloud 2 hours ago over in Minnesota. Oh, wait, no. Yeah, Minnesota. This was a potential funnel cloud. It's hard to tell, but it does look like it probably is something in terms of funnel cloud. Let me go over it. Kind of see, it's hard to tell. The picture overall is somewhat blurry, but possibility that may have been a funnel cloud or maybe even a little brief tornado. It's hard to tell though from that range, but that is what we're looking at there. A little bit blurry. That was back up in Ellendale, Minnesota. That was earlier today, up around 2:55, so about 3 hours ago. Yes, I'll check it. I'll take a look at the rainfall. Yes. Sarah, a little bit, not too much, but a little bit. Glenda, the storm itself is moving north and west. The outflow boundary is moving south. What that basically means is all these storms here, for the most part, are moving off to the north and northwest. The outflow boundary is moving south. That means storms will develop, though, back down this direction. So storms will begin to develop in those areas over the next few hours. So that's kind of what that means. Let me go over to look at. All right, tornado warning's been updated. It is still tennis ball sized hail. Actually, it's still pretty impressive that it's still radar indicated around tennis ball sized hail, but it's still an ongoing tornado warning. Has been updated though. Again, rotation seems to be down here, not nearly as impressive as before, but we very well could see a potential tornado at any time. And it might be briefer and weak, but definitely still something to watch. We do have a little hail core back up near Lamar as of right now, currently producing some quarter-sized, half-dollar-sized hail. Again, this storm also has a tornado possible, but I do think there's not really any rotation with this, and there is not. So the storm back up here near Wiley and Lamar, not nearly as concerning, at least in terms of rotation, but it definitely has some hail as of right now. This cell, as I mentioned before, is still the one that is tornado warned. It's not nearly as organized as originally at the beginning of the stream, but it is definitely a slow storm to watch over the next few minutes. Hey Gene, how you doing? Welcome back. Yes, this area yesterday, yeah, if you guys were not watching our stream yesterday, this area, I believe it was up near La Junta, just off to the west of this, that area saw 90-mile-per-hour damaging winds. So this is an area that's already suffered some severe weather over the last, 24 hours, and they're going to see potentially more of it, obviously, right now ongoing. And obviously, we still have a tornado warning ongoing for the next few minutes, so watch it pretty closely. Kentucky is fine. Yes, Kentucky is fine. You're not looking at any severe weather today. Again, we'll be watching the storm back up in Iowa pretty closely as well. We still have, again, 1 tornado warning, 5 severe thunderstorm warnings, 1 of those back up in Iowa for 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail. There was a little bit of rotation on that cell. And any surface-based storms back up in Colorado possibly could produce a brief tornado this evening, but I think that threat is still very low tonight. Again, Colorado is kind of the main area, and this is, again, Colorado was the area about a week ago or so, just over a week and a half ago, that we had at least 5 tornadoes. It may have been as many as 10. We never got the exact count, I don't think, but back up there in eastern Colorado, there was a load of tornadoes within an hour. So this is an area that, again, we see a lot of landspouts during this time of the year, and a lot of them are from these outflow-driven storms. What's the worst storm I've ever been in? I haven't really been in anything too crazy. The worst storm I've probably ever been in was actually like a 60-mile-per-hour severe storm. I haven't really been in anything beyond that, though. And the largest hail I've ever seen, I'm pretty sure, is nothing beyond half-inch size. So maybe up to quarter size. I think quarter size was the largest I've seen. But yeah, I haven't really experienced anything too crazy. I'm kind of hoping to experience something a bit more crazy, though, at some point. We have a brand new flash flood warning, by the way, for Walsenburg along Highway 87. Let me take a look at the rainfall totals, actually. We're going to look at that. Obviously, we still have an ongoing tornado warning. Let's just take a look at this real quick. And again, velocity is still not overly strong, but watch it closely. Let me go over to the rainfall totals over the last at least couple of hours here. We'll take a look. Last 6 hours we'll go with. See how much rain we've seen over the last few hours. And here's a look at the radar. And this is the last 6 hours. It does not include the last 58 minutes, so that's just for reference. And it's not overly updated, but the highest rainfall totals back up here in Fowler. So we'll get another update in about 5 minutes. I'll actually wait another 5 minutes, but the rainfall over here is probably at least 2 inches now, if not maybe a little bit more than that. Let's go back over to the live radar. And let's turn that off. There we go. So, yeah, obviously the rainfall totals are definitely higher than, an inch or two. They're definitely pretty high in this area. I would expect probably around maybe 2 or 2.5 inches possibly at this point. It's been a lot of heavy rain in this area in the short amount of time. And Lamar's obviously getting pounded with maybe some quarter-sized hail, but this warning may be let to be canceled. We'll see. I think the warning was canceled. Let me take a look at radar scope real quick. Nope, tornado warning is still ongoing, it looks like, on radar scope, but it seems like the rotation was not nearly as strong. It seems like the storm overall is weakening. I would expect there's still some damaging winds, but I don't see any rotation as of right now. It's still ongoing, so not canceled yet, but I think it's going to probably be canceled here pretty shortly. We'll see. You will see. National Weather Service said it was possibly on the ground. Is that recent, or was that a little while ago? Because there was a funnel cloud reported, but it is, again, producing up to tennis ball sized hail. I don't think it's that large, but yeah, tornado warning is still ongoing. Again, the population, by the way, in this tornado warning, anybody want to guess? It is a total of 4 people. So a couple of married couples possibly in this area that are under this tornado warning. Again, this is currently south of Highway 50 and as well as west of Highway 385, southwest of Lamar. Again, Lamar is a bit more populated. That's, again, why a bit more of a concerning area. If the storm was able to kind of hold together as it moves slowly off to the north and west, but again, Prowers County is no longer included in this warning. It is only included in Benton County as of right now. I'll go back over to here. Forster, if you want to become a member, that's the way you get it. Again, top link in the description if you want the tornado icon. I know it's kind of cool. The rotation as of right now is not nearly as impressive as before. As I kind of mentioned before, we're not seeing a whole lot of rotation anymore on this cell, but it will still be something to watch as it moves off to the north and west. But I do think the overall cell has been weakening for the last several minutes. All I see at this point is more of a damaging wind component. I mean, we could be talking about winds maybe as high as 60 to 65 miles per hour in the very peak of this storm, but I don't see much of a tennis ball sized hail threat either anymore. But the warning, again, has not been updated, has not been canceled yet as for what I know. It's still ongoing on both radar scope and here, so that probably means it's still ongoing. There's an ongoing severe thunderstorm warning for quarter sized hail and 60 mile per hour winds back off to the northeast of this, but again, it's kind of up for grabs right now. That is unfortunate, Art. So I've had that happen before. Yeah, if you're just tuning in for the first time, hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure to like the video as well. We are only about 275 subscribers from 16,000. Would appreciate if you hit the subscribe button. And we do live streams like this all the time. We cover your area, by the way. If you're in the United States, we do cover your area. We cover all the United States. I appreciate it, Fort, sir. Let me go over to Twitter again. We'll take a look if you have any new updates on this warning. Warning is still ongoing. Has not been canceled. So, at least from what we know, again, it's not really an impressive storm, though, as I kind of mentioned before. It has not been nearly as impressive as before. There is still very broad rotation on this, but we'll see if it redevelops. There's more wind than anything, though, right now. And a lot of rain, too. Take a look back up in Iowa as of right now. Again, the Iowa storm had a little bit of rotation too briefly. Does not seem to be nearly as impressive, though. And yeah, that storm's not nearly as impressive. Again, if any storms become surface-based up there in Iowa, they very well may rotate. So we'll have to watch that pretty closely. All right. Kate, I've been live for several tornadoes that have been EF3. So I've not been live yet for an EF4 plus tornado, but I've been live for several EF3 tornadoes. Most of those in Texas. Bowie tornado, as well as the Jacksboro tornado, the Morton tornado, the Lockett tornado. I've been live for a lot of them. Most of them are for Texas. Yes, I can zoom out. Here's a look at the ongoing weather. Again, this is southeast Colorado. Again, the most recent report of anything on this storm was over 40 minutes ago with a funnel cloud reported. And there was also a wall cloud, obviously, with this as well. Beyond that, though, it's a lot of rain with this area of outflow-driven storms, but this is the one that has been able to rotate a little bit. The other storm back out here, the northeast of this, is currently warned for 60-mile-per-hour winds, and as well as a little bit of quarter-sized hail. That's primarily right now in Lamar and near 287. Let's hop over to the... I'll hop over here to the infrared imagery. This kind of look at the evolution of the storms over the last few hours, just for reference. The storms again have blown up. I'm going to take off the live radar here for a second since the rotation is not that strong at this given time. We'll be covering it, but let's just look at the storms that have evolved over the last few hours as of right now. So you can just kind of see how they kind of move down to the south again, outflow-driven storms. A lot of storm activity. We had a few storms over there in Kansas. And just kind of a little bit more of a wide view at this. We have some storms back up in Iowa as of right now. But very impressive storms overall. And here's your low pressure system back up there to the north. And obviously, this is really a very decent complex of storms still. Very outflow driven. Again, we'll see a lot of storm activity. We have actually a lot of white popping up there near Highway 50. That's indicating very high cloud tops. So I have it going there as of right now. Back to the live radar, though, as of right now. Tornado warning still ongoing for another 11 minutes, unless otherwise canceled. Thank you, Forster, by the way, for becoming a Storm Chaser member. I appreciate that. Thank you. Appreciate you becoming a member. Thank you. You are 327th member of the month. Crazy to think. This is currently in Bent County, Colorado. Prowers County is no longer included in the tornado warning, but let's go back over to the velocities. We'll take a look if there's still anything here. Still broad rotation. It's again, not nearly as impressive as before. A lot of rain, though. I mean, the rain is definitely more of a threat more than anything at this point. Maybe some localized flash flooding, especially in streets and whatnot. That seems to be the main concern right now with this storm. And as it moves off to the north and west. Yeah, I agree with that, Jade. I agree. Need rain anywhere in the south and west. It's happening in St. Louis. I'm not sure, Pro Magic. Might be just some rain, but nothing severe at this time. Yeah, we're primarily focusing on the severe weather as of right now. Hey, Rex, you're totally fine. No problem at all. I'll hop over this real quick. Yeah, this is currently in Bent County, Colorado. Yeah, and tornado warning storm for another 9 minutes. It was warned for tennis ball size tail. I do believe it's weakening. I'll take a look if it's still ongoing. I don't think it is, but I would be surprised if it was still ongoing. Nope, it's still ongoing. So tornado warning still ongoing for another 9 minutes, unless otherwise canceled. Back over here. All right, let's take a look. Again, these are the couple of storms that we have ongoing over here. Let's go back up to Iowa real quick. Again, this is an area to watch later. This storm's currently producing 60-mile-per-hour winds, quarter-sized hail. Again, moving off to the east. Yeah, and there was a little bit of rotation before on this cell, primarily winds at this point, but watch it closely. Again, moving off toward Highway 71. Beyond that, though, a lot of rain at this point with these storms. Again, flash flood warnings ongoing. We currently have a total of 13 flash flood warnings. The tornado warning is still ongoing, but overall, again, the rotation's been broadened out on this one, but we'll still keep an eye on it just in case anything does come up in the next few minutes. Hey, Gordon, yeah, I know. A lot of areas have been dry for a while. Hopefully there's more rain soon. I know that the tropics are going to start to begin to heat up a little bit. That might help the overall rain chances a little bit. If anything kind of comes toward the United States, obviously the damage that comes with hurricanes and whatnot is not needed. But so if anything comes in terms of rain, obviously a lot of that rain is going to be beneficial. But obviously a lot of areas are dry right now. And that does include anywhere in the southern plains and whatnot. Southern plains are really dry. I mean, if you're looking at Texas, Texas is like the driest state right now. One of the driest, at least. Thank you, Kathy, for becoming a subscriber. I appreciate it. All right, let me back over to Twitter. We'll take a look if there's any new updates there. We're only one subscriber, by the way, away from 15,750. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, I would appreciate it. Yeah, as of right now, I'm not seeing any new updates on this on Twitter. I don't think there's much rotation here anymore. Nothing updated here. Yeah, we did have a funnel cloud earlier, potentially back over in Minnesota and Ellendale, Minnesota. That was a few hours ago, but we did have a photo kind of close to the beginning of the stream. As of right now, again, no new updates on the tornado warning. Still set to expire in 6 minutes, unless otherwise noted. Thank you, Gordon and Dave, by the way, as well, for subscribing. Appreciate it. Can we see your setup? I might do that sometime, not now, though. My setup is horrible. It's not really much. It's literally a laptop and a monitor. That's it. And the laptop is literally my computer. Believe it or not. It's a budget setup, pretty much. It's not really a budget, though. The laptop is more of like a, it's a high-running laptop, so it's not bad. If you have any damage photos, any photos in general, feel free to tweet me on Twitter. Again, link down in the description below. Also, you can join our Discord server. Again, if you want to join our Discord server, link's going to be in the chat from Nightbot. Make sure to join our Discord server. And again, we'll keep you updated with the latest on there. Once this tornado warning expires, we're going to go over a few things real quick in this little live stream. Again, I don't think this live stream will be overly long unless we get new warnings in regards to significant hail or tornadoes. Obviously, a lot of them are pretty low end as of right now, but I do want to go over some things like the tropics and whatnot, and as well as some of the rainfall totals with this storm. We'll take a look at actually at the rainfall totals now. I think it updated now. We'll take a look. This is over the last 6 hours. We'll take a look at the rainfall totals. Obviously, flash flooding becoming a bit more of a concern as these storms do not move that fast. And yeah, there's definitely some potential isolated flash flooding with this. Back over here west of Highway 385, rainfall totals nearing 3 to 3.5 inches. So we're seeing a lot of rain in this area. Back out to the west, there's plenty of areas. Whites are representing anywhere from 2 to 2.5 inches of rain. So a lot of rain in both Bent and Prowers County, Colorado. Also back over near Ordway. By the way, thank you, Jerry, by the way. You're our 400th follower on Twitter. As well as back near Ordway, excuse me, near 3 inches of rain over that direction. Back over near the flash flood warnings. Obviously more mountainous region. There's different, warnings for these, but they're closer to 3 inches of rain over there near Walsenburg as well. Back down to the southeast of that, just outside of the warning, close to 3.5 inches of rain. So we've seen a lot of rain in these areas, and obviously that is likely to continue over the next few hours. Also back up in Iowa, between about 1 to 2 inches, if not a little bit more than that in those regions. So that is what we're seeing in terms of rain as of right now. There's been a lot of rain, especially with these storms that are, again, outflow driven and very slowly moving off to the north and west. But I do think this tornado warning is going to expire. Let's just go back to the velocities one last time. And yeah, it looks like it's going to expire. So we're going to go back over to the regular screen here. I don't know if this one's updated. No, that one's not on the right thing. So actually, I'm going to leave the severe thunderstorm warning on here, even though we're not really going to be covering that much here. But let's go over to the tropics real quick. I want to give you a quick update on this. The National Hurricane Center, again, is forecasting the potential for a tropical depression or storm to develop here pretty soon. Let's hop over to that real quick, and we'll also go over a few other things before this live stream does come to a close. But let's go over to the Day 5 outlook. Back over into the Atlantic Ocean. I almost said Pacific Ocean. This is currently an area of development, though. This may become, again, a tropical storm, potentially our 4th named storm of the year. Potentially. It's a 40% chance of developing, again, over the next 5 days. It has a lot of time before it ever gets to areas like land. It might be another 5, it might be around 7 to 10 days until it gets close to the Lesser Antilles. But as of right now, this is not forecasted to hit the Lesser Antilles. It might impact them, but it's not going to direct hit them at this given time. And there's going to be a lot of shear that's likely going to build into this area. That should hinder the overall chances of that getting close to land over the next several days. But beyond that, this track is likely to go in this direction, and that's mainly because of the overall high pressure system where it's located. Along with a lot of the shear, it should be able to weaken this system as it moves closer to the Lesser Antilles over the next several days. So that's currently what's forecasted back out that direction. Beyond that, I mean, that's kind of what we're looking at in terms of the tropics. Nothing else developed. There's also a tropical storm actually ongoing named Howard west of Mexico. There's an area of development back actually east of Hawaii. So there's a couple of developments ongoing. Let me go over the warning real quick. Actually in Boston, Massachusetts, this is actually a warning that's been ongoing here for a little bit. Currently producing some isolated damaging winds up to 60 miles per hour. Take a look at this real quick. Let me look at the live radar. Let's pull it up, see what the storm looks like. And it is a pretty decent storm actually moving toward Boston right now, as well as Newton, as well as Waltham. Needham, all included actually in the path of this. Needham actually has a few stations there. So, again, moving off to the east, a potential little bit of hail as well in this, maybe pea-sized hail there near Highway 20. So a little severe thunderstorm warning back up here in Boston, Massachusetts. Thank you, by the way, Mary, Creddy, as well as Autumn, and Daza for subscribing. I appreciate it. All right. Thank you, Control. Yeah, I was assuming that warning was going to be canceled. Yeah, it looks like that tornado warning has been canceled. We are currently, the next warning update's going to be coming in here in a second, but as of right now, we are on 3 severe thunderstorm warnings. Again, this live stream not going to be too long because there's not much out there, but obviously the main reason why we went live is because of that extreme hail, and as well as the tornado warning back over in Colorado. But we'll be live for a few more minutes. Again, Boston is a bit more of a populated area, so we're going to cover this for a few minutes. Again, 60-mile-per-hour winds currently heading that direction. There's also a little bit of a line behind this, but highest winds seem to be close to Newton. That will be heading toward Boston. Again, brightest colors representing some high downburst winds. Again, could be as high as 60. Moving off to the east. A couple of other storms down this direction. A little broken line kind of down here in southwest Connecticut. Not much there, but a little bit of storm activity over there as well. And obviously, we do have a warning in Iowa, and we also have another one in, I think, Alabama. So that's what we're looking at right now. But storms in Iowa are kind of looking interesting. I'll take a look at them here in a second. Yeah, Iowa is, again, the other area that has a potential for severe weather, but these storms obviously are not actually included in any risk, and again, we do occasionally see this where we see an isolated storm or two that are severe outside of any risked areas. Here's a look at the storms back over in Iowa as of right now, and there's actually a storm that has formed over in Des Moines. This is a newly developing storm. This might actually become severe. It looks like it just kind of developed. Yeah, it just blew up here over the last few minutes. Couple of storms here that just kind of blew up out of nowhere near Des Moines, as well as near Highway 6 and 415. And just see how it blew up there. The storms back over here for reference. Again, they're all kind of embedded in a line. Kind of just see over the last several minutes. Not a whole lot beyond that little quarter-sized tail and 60-mile-per-hour threat. I'm not seeing much rotation anymore on that one, but Des Moines is definitely a bit more of an area to watch because this storm has literally popped out of nowhere. That very well may become severe here pretty shortly. We'll watch this one closely. Yeah, it's currently moving off to the north and northeast. And populated area here as well in the capital. So we'll be moving off to the north and northeast. But yeah, you can kind of see how it just blew up here. Let's look at the velocities. And there's a little bit of wind here, actually. There might be actually some downburst winds potentially developing here. They're up to 45 miles per hour. And again, this cell just developed. So very well may strengthen over the next few minutes. Again, that'll be moving off to the north and northeast. But beyond that, again, the only warning in Iowa as of right now is this storm, but we may get one there in Des Moines here pretty shortly. Yeah, actually, this is the 7th day in a row that I've gone live. I will not be going live tomorrow. I'm guaranteeing you that because I literally have not had a day of break in a while. This is the 7th day in a row that we've been live. Obviously, this one's only going to be probably about an hour, but still counts. Currently, we're looking at Iowa. By the way, here's the outlook for today. If you're just curious, there's a marginal threat still ongoing for Iowa. This is for the potential for damaging winds, large hail, isolated tornado. Beyond that, there is still an isolated tornado threat back down here in Colorado through western Kansas, and as well as potential for some isolated large hail and isolated damaging winds. Basically, all modes of severe weather. There's also one down in Arizona for maybe some isolated downburst winds. But other than that, that's kind of our main threats. We obviously have an exception back over in Boston. There's an ongoing severe thunderstorm warning, but that's kind of our outlook for today. Again, it's a pretty low-end threat overall for the day today. And again, I'm only going live maybe for another 20 minutes. It's basically going to be about it. Unless something major develops over the next 20 minutes, but does not seem like we'll see that. Unless the storm here near Des Moines starts to get organized. We'll watch this one more closely than anything. Because, again, it's in a populated area. Next radar scan comes in here in just a moment. So we'll kind of keep you updated with the latest on that. Maybe a tornado warning in Des Moines? I don't think so. Yeah, maybe, actually. There's a little bit of rotation here. It's more downburst winds right now, but watch it closely. This will likely at least get severe thunderstorm warning in the next minute. I would assume this is going to get warned in Des Moines, but I don't see a whole lot of rotation. I see a very high downburst winds, though, right now. Winds are definitely going up. All right, let me take a look. From play in the rain to panic. What in the world? Jerry, what are you doing? All right. This is I'll go and show it. This is kind of funny. This is Jerry sent this in on Twitter. Let's go over to this. This is from Dancing in Rain to Panic.
Bring it here, Dino. I'll throw it. Whoa, my God. Oh. No, be careful. No, get out there now.
Oh, my God.
Right now.
inside. It's windy.
Now, get up here. Dude, you're not listening. Think Julio's there by itself, though.
That is pretty funny. Thanks for sending that in. I feel that though. That's definitely a mood that happens. Hey, I mean, many people have done that before, but thank you as well as Mallory, Gordon, and Denise, by the way, for subscribing. I don't know where that was. Where was that, Jerry? It took the trees out. I'm sorry to hear about the damage, but yeah, this is that's. Oh, actually, I see the damage. Yeah, this is the damage that the storm left. Man, look at this damage. That's insane. Yeah, obviously, some pretty significant damage in this area. Many trees down. That was just one of the photos, but sometimes what happens when you go out and do your little rain dance because it's raining. I mean, anyone in Texas, I would almost assume that they would literally stay outside. They wouldn't even go inside. They would literally be like, you know, it's raining. Raining for the first time in like 5 years. Let's go out. We do have 4 severe thunderstorm warnings, by the way. We do have a brand new one. I'm not entirely sure where it is, but we'll take a look. And this is a storm that we've been watching pretty closely. And we have a new warning down in Arizona. Near Phoenix. We'll take a look real quick. No, we won't. We'll be back in a second. Love when it crashes. Thank you, Glenn. Yes, I'm aware. There's no tornado warning anymore, in Colorado. Expired at 6:15. A little downburst storm producing 60-mile-per-hour winds near Miami, Globe, as well as Claypool on top of the world. Top of the world is apparently a town or city or something. As well as Inspiration, that is east of Phoenix, Arizona. So, brand new warning there. I didn't know there was a place called On Top of the World. But you learn something new every day. All right, back over to the storm near Des Moines. Again, we'll take a look at the latest scan. It's coming in actually right now. Here's the latest look at the storm. And never mind, it's going to be coming in about 10 seconds. Yes, they're on top of the world. I've never heard of that before. Hey, welcome back, Sarah. How you doing? All right, next radar update's coming in. Looks like in about 5 seconds. I said 10 seconds, about 30 seconds ago. So, kind of where we're at. All right, so the latest radar update not nearly showing nearly as much on this storm, so it is definitely not really strengthening a whole lot. Again, here's the latest few scans. It definitely had some downburst winds there, maybe up to 55. You can kind of see it's not overly, it was a little bit more impressive at the beginning. Obviously, it was a very quick, sporadic storm that popped up here near Des Moines, but beyond that, we have another little cell back out to the southwest of the radar site near Dallas Center. That is also newly developed. Looks like a little outflow boundary is kind of producing maybe those storms, but a little cell maybe developing west of that radar site too. Again, the ones back out here to the west are currently moving, again, off to the east, obviously. And these are maybe trying to organize a little bit, but I think that overall tornado threat seems to be pretty low with this. Again, there was a little bit of rotation initially with one of these storms. I'm not seeing nearly as much rotation as before. So that's what we're looking at as of right now. Back over to the warning count. Again, we have 4 severe thunderstorm warnings, 1 in Iowa, 1 in Massachusetts, 1 in Colorado, and 1 in Arizona. They're all over the place today. Hey, Kazi, how you doing? Welcome back. I heard about that, Julie. Yeah, we were live when actually the day that happened. We came on the air about an hour after it happened. So, unfortunately, yeah, that was a very unfortunate event that happened there. That's why, as always, if you ever hear thunder, make sure you're getting indoors. I still don't know the specifics on where they were when that happened, but obviously it's not anything good there. By the way, the top of the world, Arizona, it's again a town called Top of the World that actually has no spaces, just a bunch of like little dashes. The population there is apparently dropping. It went from 330 in 2000 to 231 in 2010. So on top of the world is going down. Again, I've never heard of that place until now. It's also Miami, Arizona. Hey Jackson, how you doing? Welcome back. All right, let's take a look at the warnings. Again, we currently have 4 ongoing. We'll go over to this one for right now. Again, if nothing develops over the next 10 minutes, I'll probably end the stream, but we'll see what happens. Again, if anything does kind of sporadically happen, we'll see. But obviously, the main reason why we went live was for that initial sell over there in Colorado. It was an insane storm, to say the least, at the beginning. By the way, I do appreciate all the support on our latest forecast. Man, it's crazy. We're almost up to 6,000 views in 7 hours on that video. That is the most views we've ever actually had on a video before. So, appreciate everybody watching the forecast today. Obviously, it was a fairly important forecast. The insane amount of rain back up in Wisconsin. I'm not sure if we have rainfall totals on the... Oh, yeah, we do, obviously. Let me take a look at the rainfall totals over the last 24 hours. We saw some significant rainfall back over here in Wisconsin. This is a look at it. From earlier. Again, southern portions of Wisconsin. Freeport specifically was the area where we had the highest rainfall totals. Near 7 inches of rain there near Lena. 7.1 is where I'm seeing the highest total here. And I'm not seeing anything too much higher. A lot of basically between 6 to 7 inches in Cedarville, Freeport, Pearl City, and Lena this morning. Back out to the west of this, we had a few areas of 5 inches back over in northeastern Iowa. Minnesota saw a load of rain, and there was actually, by the way, confirmation we had 8 inches of rain somewhere here. So the estimated rainfall totals are actually underestimated. So there was around 8 inches of rain over there, but you can see near Mason City close to 5 to 6 inches. So a lot of rain over the last 24 hours has unfortunately led and contributed to some flash flooding in these locations. Even near Chicago kind of got spared with rain, but outside of that, rainfall totals as high as 4 inches of rain just down to the south of Chicago. So there's been a lot of rain. And as I mentioned before, that was what today's forecast was for the most part covering. And in addition to that, the tropics. And unfortunately, we saw a lot of rain and flash flooding in addition to that. So what we've seen so far. And you guys see, I mean, you can literally see it, by the way. It's just this one little trail of storms that developed last night. And obviously from there, it's been, for the most part, just a lot of rain in some locations. I don't know if the outlook has changed at all. I don't know how the... Let me take a look. I'm not sure if it really changes here. This is a look at the... Yeah, here's a look at the outlook for today. You can see the moderate risk of flash flooding was basically... It's issued for southern portions of Wisconsin, northern Illinois, and northeastern Iowa. And here's a look at the rainfall totals. This is what's forecasted over the next 24 hours, I believe. And it looks like we may have some additional rainfall, possibly up there in central Wisconsin, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Let me take a look at my own computer models here and see, because again, I've not really ever used the models on this, but let me take a look at the rain over the next 24 hours. There might be some additional rain coming tonight. And yeah, there will be. So there will be additional rain tonight, up to 2 inches. Isolated amounts could go as high as 4, but it looks like some isolated locations may see a little bit more additional rain tonight, especially across central Wisconsin and really anywhere along. I'll kind of show you again the area here north of Milwaukee. It's kind of in between Green Bay and Milwaukee. That's kind of the area where we'll see potentially between 1 to 3 inches of additional rainfall. An isolated location could see as much as 4 to 5 though. So unfortunately, more rainfall is likely to come there in Wisconsin tonight, and again, we don't need it in those locations. A lot of rain's already fallen today. As I mentioned before, we've had a rainfall total as high as 8 inches so far today. That very well may increase. Now 5 people subscribing to me? What do you mean? Oh, yeah. I know, subscriber notifications come by. I don't say subscriber notifications nearly as often nowadays. But if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button. We're only 17 from 15,800. That'll be our goal for tonight. Let's get 17 more subscribers and we'll end the goal. Back over to Massachusetts. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning ongoing for 60-mile-per-hour winds, again, near Boston. This is, again, the current warning. Going to be going off the coast here pretty shortly. The warning's actually going to expire in a minute, but very well maybe at least some potential gusty winds still remaining with this storm. The highest wind speeds seemingly up here near Medford and Cambridge. Those areas are kind of in the track right now, northwest of Boston. And off to the north of Brookline, by the way. Brookline, obviously some thunder and lightning over that direction, but it looks to definitely be a damaging wind component. That will be impacting the beaches, so there's a lot of beaches in that region. Obviously, it's right along the coastline. I don't even know why I said that, but that's the latest update there. Also, some storms down in Connecticut. Those, again, not severe, but a couple of gusty windstorms maybe in the possibilities before those go off the coast as well. No severe weather in the southeast as of right now. Back over to Colorado. near Lamar. Still a warning ongoing for another 16 minutes. These storms definitely not nearly as impressive as before. And we still got one ongoing down in into Arizona. This warning for 60-mile-per-hour winds. Storm, primarily downburst winds, but that's moving down to the south as of right now. All right. And also back up to Iowa for now. And we do have a new special weather statement. No new severe. This actually will not be a new severe thunderstorm warning. We have a couple of cells trying to develop up here over in Iowa, central Iowa, to be specific, near Des Moines. But as of right now, not a whole lot of success. This one seems to be rapidly developing, though. Here's a look at the last few minutes. And yeah, this one's starting to rapidly develop again. Any storms that it can become surface-based, very well maybe see a little low-end tornado threat. So we'll have to watch that closely. That storm's moving off to the north and northeast. But that's what we're looking at as of right now. Hey, Salty, how you doing? All right, it's back over to here for right now. Give it another 3 minutes. If any storms do rapidly develop on the next scan, we'll stay live. But if not, we're going to probably end it there. But we'll see what happens. Next radar scan should be coming in here momentarily. So keep you updated the next few minutes. It was the day before, Devin. Not yesterday. It was the day before. Yeah, there's 105-mile-per-hour wind gusts in Longview, Texas. Damaged some homes, buildings, something like that. Trees were knocked down. I think there was around 15 or 30 trees, one of the two. I don't remember the exact number, but yeah. Only 12 subscribers, again, from 15,800. Again, hit the subscribe button. It's free to do. We cover all the United States, so we cover your state here in the United States. So again, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below. Would appreciate it. And also, make sure to check out our latest forecast. All right, let me go over to here. Worst storm I've covered a lot of bad storms. I mean, probably the worst one, it's kind of hard to say, but I mean, we've had some really bad ones. I mean, the Jacksboro tornado was pretty bad. I mean, honestly, the worst storms I've ever covered, honestly, have probably been in Texas. And that's the state that I primarily did during the springtime anyways. And that's, you know, I cover North Texas for the most part. But Jacksboro tornado, Bowie tornado, those were two really bad ones. The Morton tornado in Texas and West Texas was also really bad. I was live for that one. And Lockett tornado. Those were probably the 4 worst storms I've ever covered. We do have a brand new warning, by the way, for Massachusetts. It does include Beverly, Peabody, as well as Revere, Medford, Boston, Lynn, all included. We now have a special a special marine warning as well until 7:15. Obviously, anyone along the beaches, make sure you're getting into shelter. Again, potential for some, not just damaging winds, but a lot of lightning is going to be possible with this. That will again be moving off to the east. Brand new warning here. I'm the Bob Ross of weathermen. I don't know. That's just such a weird compliment. I don't paint art, though. I don't really make the art. All right, let's go back over to here. And this is the latest radar update, I believe. Let me take a look real quick. And it sure is. So that is going to probably be it. Let me go back over to here real quick. We'll look at Colorado. Just make sure there's nothing else going on here. Yeah, we still have a warning for Lamar. It looks like the only storm that is anywhere close to strong right now in Colorado is likely south of Highway 50. So that's what we're looking at as of right now. Alrighty, that's gonna probably do it for this live stream. I do appreciate everybody tuning in. Obviously, it was a quick one. It was mainly for the tornado warning, the baseball size tail at the very beginning, but I do appreciate, everybody tuning in. This is look at Des Moines, as I mentioned before, just a couple of strong storms. These very well may become severe, but what I'm seeing right now is nothing too crazy. We'll watch it closely off stream. If there is anything to be noted, I'll go live. But for now, again, I'm not going to try to keep everybody around here for storms that may develop or may not. They'll be kind of 50-50 so far, but we'll keep you updated. Just a reminder, friendly reminder. We had an announcement the other day. We officially have merchandise. If you want to check it out, I'm going to post a link in chat 3 times. Again, you can get up to 20% off your order with a code that is posted on the Discord server. If you're a VIP chaser, if you're any member excluding storm chasers, you can get up to 20% off. Make sure to go check out our Discord server. If you don't know the code, you can message me on any of my social media platforms. As long as you have proof of you being a member, I'll give you the discount code. But other than that, check out the merchandise. Again, it's fairly affordable. It's very affordable for anybody. We have membership keychains as well. But that's about it for that. Make sure to follow us again on Twitter, on TikTok. On TikTok, we're only like 2. Actually, let me real quick. This is a video that we had the other day on West Virginia tornado. I showed this to you guys real quick. This was a tornado in the backyard in West Virginia, by the way. So it's pretty crazy. Again, make sure to check this out on our TikTok. And again, Max Velocity WX on TikTok. We're only 3 followers away from 100, so make sure to go follow us on there as well. Thank you, Brian and Skywatcher, by the way, for subscribing. I appreciate it. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button down below. Make sure to like the video. I would appreciate it. And that will do it for tonight. Make sure we have no new warnings real quick. All right, yeah, we're only at 2 warnings, as I mentioned before. 11 flash flood warnings. Obviously, stay safe tonight. We'll have, again, potential for another 1 to 3 inches of rain over there in portions of Wisconsin. And also, we do have a bloopers video coming out tonight for members, Tornado Chaser Plus. Let me go and show you guys a quick preview. All right, that's just a preview. But that'll be coming out tonight if you're a member. Other than that, appreciate everybody tuning in. I was making sure we got to an hour on the stream. I'll see you guys all again soon. Stay safe, and we'll see you again.